We're going country right in the middle of the city this week as we visit JR Country Radio, the local leader of the pack in this popular music format. Good evening and welcome to Red's Classic Theater. During our show, we'll meet some of the people behind the scenes responsible for the success of JR Country, and we'll look at the operation. Our movie this week is the 1954 production The Country Girl, starring Grace Kelly and Bing Crosby. For movie fans, Grace Kelly's appearance in the picture was a real shock. Accustomed to her radiant beauty, fans were stunned at Kelly's frumpy appearance and dowdy dresses. For his part, Bing Crosby was racked by doubt over playing a straight dramatic role. After being Hollywood's top box office draw of the 40s, his acting career was going downhill. He felt this role would either revive it or kill it for good. Now here's Act One of The Country Girl, starring Grace Kelly and Bing Crosby. Red's Classic Theater is on location at JR Country in Vancouver, and one of the men behind the scenes here to make it so successful, Dave McCormick. Dave, before we get started, congratulations on winning the Broadcast Performer of the Year in British Columbia.
Thank you, Red. I was stunned to receive that and very thrilled to have an award from the broadcast peers. And I think of all the good people working so hard and underpaid in this business to single me out, I was honored, and thank you for bringing that up.
Dave, you're responsible for a great deal of the success of JR Country. Why is country so successful throughout North America?
Well, it got hot all of a sudden the last couple of years, not because I just jumped on the bandwagon, but we saw it coming. And I think it's because it's attracting younger people to it. It's adult stories. It's vocals you can hear. They're not buried. The whole family can hear it. And people are responding to it.
Garth Brooks, big seller?
Right. He's phenomenal. Garth has turned it all around in just 2 years' time. I think he's something like 19 million records with his 3 albums, selling concert dates all over America this year. And they're all sold out, 77-city tour. And next year he's going all over Europe, and they're pretty sold out. It's phenomenal, Garth.
JR Country, Dave McCormick, they go together. Tune them in, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. With me is John Baudouin, who is the program director of JR Country. Each year you have a birthday party. When's it coming up this year, John?
July 18th this year. It's a change from July 1st for various reasons, but it's all been very well received with everybody. July 18th this year out in Fort Langley. We've got Rodney Crowell is our headliner. We also have Patricia Conroy, Lisa Brokop, Gary Felgard, Joel Feeney, and a bunch of other people. It's going to be a great event.
It's an event in itself, and the acts are an important part of it. Now, if people want information, what number do they call?
They can call us here at the radio station, or they can also call our JR Country birthday party hotline, which is 280-9000.
All right, there you go. Join JR Country in their big birthday celebration. And now, let's get back to The Country Girl. Red's Classic Theater is going country this week with a visit to JR Country in Vancouver, and we're standing in the JR Country newsroom. As I mentioned earlier in the program, Bing Crosby worried a lot about his role in tonight's film, The Country Girl. After all, he was more accustomed to trading jokes with Bob Hope or singing to nuns than he was in playing straight drama. While filming, Crosby was so insecure, he became super sensitive about the toupee he wore. At one point, he demanded to use the same one he'd worn 20 years earlier in the 1933 picture College Humor. Well, director George Seaton refused his request, but did put a biography together on Crosby's character for him to study. But the worrying was unfounded, as Bing Crosby was nominated as Best Actor for his performance in tonight's film. During production, both Crosby and William Holden competed for the attention of Grace Kelly, and both dated her. In fact, Holden had already had a brief romantic fling with Kelly while making The Bridges at Toko-Ri earlier the same year. Of course, none of this mattered once Kelly was swept off her feet by Prince Ranier 2 years later. And now, back to Country Girl. We're visiting JR Country this week on Red's Classic Theater, and time to look at our mailbag. Karen Dunn from Vancouver and Ken Hall from Delta requested The Great Waltz, starring Louise Rayner and Fernand Gravitt. And Hazel Coyle from Abbotsford would like to see The Old Maid. Now, this motion picture starred Bette Davis. If there's a motion picture you'd like to see or the suggestion of a location like JR Country, drop us a note. Write to Red Robinson, KVOS-TV in Vancouver. That's Red Robinson, KVOS-TV in Vancouver. Now join us next week for World War II excitement in the North Atlantic as the British Navy hunts a deadly German battleship. Kenneth Moore and Dana Winters star in Sink the Bismarck. And 2 weeks from tonight, join us for Western Adventure with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara in Rio Grande. And now, back to The Country Girl. Hope you're enjoying tonight's presentation of The Country Girl, starring Grace Kelly. Born to a wealthy Philadelphia family in 1928, Kelly took up modeling as a young woman as well as acting lessons. She auditioned for many plays, but was only able to land parts in cigarette commercials on TV. Her first break came with a role in the 1949 Broadway play, The Father, which also starred Raymond Massey. And that led to her first motion picture starring role as Gary Cooper's wife in High Noon. Following that, Kelly played an adulteress in Mogambo with Clark Gable. But her best-known work came in 3 motion pictures directed by Alfred Hitchcock: Dial M for Murder, Rear Window, and To Catch a Thief. While filming that movie on the French Riviera, Grace Kelly met Prince Rainier III, ruler of Monaco. They were married in 1956, and Kelly retired from show business completely. Sadly, the reign of Princess Grace ended tragically when a car accident claimed her life in 1982. And now, back to The Country Girl. As we mentioned earlier in the program, JR Country is located right in the middle of the city. And here on the patio of JR Country, it's time for our movie trivia quiz. Grace Kelly's last film also co-starred Bing Crosby. Our question, can you name the film? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Here's the answer to our movie trivia quiz. Grace Kelly's final film was the 1956 musical High Society. She co-starred with Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and Louis Armstrong. And now let's return with Grace Kelly in The Country Girl. Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Red's Classic Theater. I hope you enjoyed The Country Girl, starring Grace Kelly and Bing Crosby. Be sure to join us next Sunday night on Red's Classic Theater for the war drama Sink the Bismarck, starring Kenneth Moore and Dana Winter. In the meantime, if there's a location suggestion that you have in mind or a motion picture you'd like to see, drop a note to yours truly, Red Robinson, KBOS-TV in Vancouver. We'd like to take this opportunity of thanking Jean Baudouin, the program director at JR Country, and Dave McCormick for hosting our program. Thank you for the hospitality. Join us next Sunday night on Red's Classic Theater for Sink the Bismarck. And in the meantime, I love my country on JR. Thanks for being with us, and good night, everybody.